You did the work, early mornings, late nights, discipline when it was hard, focus when everything else wanted your attention, and it's paying off. Your income is up, your confidence is different, your direction is clear. You look at your life and think, this is going to make everything better, including her, including you two, including all of it. And then something shifts. She seems distant, more friction in conversations that used to be easy, tension where there wasn't any before. She pulls back, not dramatically, but noticeably. You can feel it, and you don't understand it. You built more. You became more. You thought that was the point. Here's what nobody prepares you for. The version of you that succeeds is not the same version she built the relationship with. And that gap, silent, invisible, misunderstood, is where relationships go to die. In the next minutes, you're going to learn why your success might be silently sabotaging your relationship, and how to lead the transition without losing either one. Here's the honest truth. You evolved. The relationship didn't. That's not a criticism. That's just what happened. Your priorities shifted. What you tolerate changed. How you spend your time reorganized completely. Your standards went up. Your patience for certain things went down. Your attention, once more available, is now more compressed. You are genuinely different. But you walked back into the same relationship expecting everything to remain aligned. And it can't. Because alignment isn't automatic. It doesn't maintain itself in the background while you level up. It requires attention, intention, leadership. And most men, consumed by the building, don't even notice the misalignment starting. Until one day, the distance has become a gap, and the gap has become a wall. And they're standing on one side, wondering what happened to something that used to feel effortless. There's an assumption built into how most men think about success, that if you build yourself, the relationship improves alongside you, that being more disciplined, more driven, more successful makes you a better partner automatically, that she'll see the growth and feel more attracted, more secure, more aligned. It's a logical assumption, and it's often completely wrong, because attraction is not static. It responds to what's actually happening, not what should be happening. And what's actually happening is this. You've grown in one direction. The relationship has stayed where it was. That divergence creates pressure, not because success is bad, because growth without leadership creates distance. The same focus that built your discipline made you less emotionally available. The same standards that raised your output lowered your tolerance for things she didn't realize were a problem. The same confidence that makes you effective at work reads differently at home. What builds you can destabilize what you built before. And pretending otherwise doesn't protect the relationship. It just delays the collision. Here's what actually changed. Before success, the dynamic had a certain balance. You needed more. You were more available. The relationship was part of how you structured your sense of stability. After success, that changes. You have more options, more confidence in who you are and where you're going, more independence, financially, emotionally, directionally. You need less. And that shift, even when it's never stated, changes the entire architecture of the relationship, because dynamics are not agreements, they're felt realities. She doesn't need you to announce that you've changed. She feels it in how you carry yourself, in how you respond to friction, in how you hold your time. The imbalance forms quietly. Before, you were growing together. Now, you're growing, and the relationship is trying to keep up. That's not failure. That's a transition. But transitions require leadership. And most men don't realize they're in one until it's already become a crisis. Picture the same man, 2 different chapters. Before, he had more time. He invested more emotionally, partly because he had more availability, partly because he needed the relationship more. He was more reactive, more present in the day-to-day. He compromised more easily. The relationship felt balanced because the investment felt equal. After, he is focused. His mornings belong to his work. His mental bandwidth is compressed. He is less reactive, not cold, just less available to every small friction. He is harder to access, not deliberately, just genuinely. She feels the shift, She experiences his discipline as distance, his boundaries as withdrawal, his growth as a signal that she matters less. She's not wrong about what she feels. She's wrong about what it means. But without communication, without leadership from him, she will keep filling that gap with the wrong interpretation. And interpretations, left uncorrected, become beliefs. And beliefs drive behavior. And behavior builds distance. You're not pulling away. You're focused. But from where she's standing, the experience is identical. Less of your attention, shorter conversations, fewer moments where you're fully present. She doesn't interpret this as he's building something. She interprets it as he's pulling back from me. That misinterpretation is not her fault. It's the natural human response to reduced connection. When attention decreases, the question isn't what is he doing? The question is, am I still a priority? And if you don't answer that question, she answers it herself, with whatever her fear suggests. You've raised the bar in every area of your life: what you eat, how you train, who you spend time with, how you spend your hours. Your tolerance for mediocrity in any form has dropped. That includes behavior inside the relationship, things that used to slide, small patterns, repeated dynamics, low-level friction, now register differently. You're less patient with things that once didn't bother you, more direct about things you previously let go. From the inside, this feels like growth. From the outside, it can feel like criticism, like nothing is ever quite enough, like the standards keep shifting, like she's failing a test she didn't know she was taking. That creates friction, consistently, quietly, cumulatively. Before, the dynamic had a certain shape. Now it's different. You are more independent, more self-sufficient, more capable of existing without the relationship as your foundation. She feels that, not as a thought, as a sensation, the subtle awareness that you need her less, that the relationship is one of many things in your life now, not the primary one. That shift creates insecurity, even if nothing was said, even if nothing specific happened. Because need, mutual need, is part of what creates attachment. When one side needs less, the other side wonders what holds them there. And wondering, left unaddressed, becomes anxiety. And anxiety manifests as distance, testing, friction. The very things that make you withdraw further. Your energy has a finite supply. And right now, most of it goes to the mission, not because you chose her less, because building requires everything. But the relationship doesn't experience your intention, it experiences your presence. And your presence, your real, full, emotionally available presence, has become less frequent. The imbalance builds slowly. She invests more, trying to close the gap she feels. You invest less because your capacity is genuinely compressed. One side pulls toward connection, the other side is pointed at the horizon. That imbalance is not sustainable, not because love isn't there, but because imbalance always resolves itself, one way or another. The instinct at this point is predictable. You feel the tension, you see her pulling back, you sense the distance widening, and you think, I'll work harder on both fronts, more output at work, more effort at home, cover every base, give more everywhere, and it doesn't work. Because splitting your focus that way doesn't strengthen either side, it weakens both. You're not more present with her, you're more exhausted with her. You're not more focused at work, you're more distracted at work. The real problem isn't a lack of effort, it's a lack of leadership. You haven't led the transition, you've reacted to it, and reacting to a dynamic you should be directing is how men lose ground on both sides simultaneously. She deserves to understand what's happening. Not a justification, not an apology, not a negotiation. A clear, calm statement of reality. My priorities have changed. My direction is set. This is where I'm going. Not aggressive, not defensive, just honest. Because the absence of that communication leaves her building her own narrative. And her narrative, built on feeling rather than fact, will always assume the worst. Tell her what's true. Once, clearly, from a grounded place, not to manage her emotions, to give her accurate information to work with. That's leadership, not explanation. You cannot be always available. The work won't allow it. The mission won't allow it. But you can be fully present when you are there. No phone, no distraction, no partial attention dressed up as connection. Real presence, focused, complete. That quality of attention, even in shorter windows, does more for a relationship than hours of half-engaged proximity. She doesn't need all of your time. She needs to know that when she has your time, she actually has it. Build that. Protect it. Show up fully when you show up. It is enough if it's real. The old patterns will try to return. Dynamics that existed before your growth, habits, compromises, dynamics you've since moved past, will surface again. Don't regress to manage the discomfort. Hold your structure calmly, consistently, not through confrontation, through repetition. Every time you hold a boundary with steadiness, not defensiveness, not coldness, just steadiness, you're establishing what the new normal actually is. Consistency creates stability, and stability, even when initially uncomfortable, is what she can eventually trust. Don't pretend it didn't happen. The dynamic changed. The expectations changed. The balance of need changed. Ignoring that doesn't make it go away. It just means it operates underneath everything, unnamed, unmanaged, and growing. Name it internally first. Understand that you are now leading a different version of this relationship, not the same one with more success layered on top, a genuinely different dynamic that requires conscious navigation. Lead it. Lead. Don't drift through the transition hoping things stabilize on their own. They won't. Stability after growth is built, not found. Your life is moving. The question is whether the relationship moves with it. That alignment doesn't happen automatically. It happens because you create it, not by shrinking your direction to fit the relationship, not by demanding the relationship reshape itself overnight, but by being clear to yourself and to her about where you're going and what it looks like to build alongside that. A relationship that can't adapt to your growth was always going to struggle with the man you're becoming. A relationship that can become something stronger than it was before. But you have to lead that possibility into existence. It won't find its way there without you. The goal is not perfect balance. Balance is a myth in a life built around mission. The goal is alignment. You stop trying to keep everyone comfortable. You start leading the way. Dynamic consciously. You structure when you're available. You decide what the relationship looks like at this level of your life. You lead, not by controlling her, but by being clear about yourself. The internal shift is significant. From, I need to keep the harmony, to, I need to create the alignment. Harmony is reactive. Alignment is built. And a directed man, one who knows where he's going and leads the relationships in his life accordingly, creates something more stable than harmony ever was. This is not unique to romantic relationships. Every level up creates new tension, new friendships that challenge old ones, new standards that make old environments uncomfortable, new directions that leave certain people behind. Growth always creates pressure, in every direction, on every relationship. The men who understand this, who anticipate it, lead it, navigate it consciously, move through their levels without losing everything they built below. The men who don't are constantly confused about why success feels so destabilizing. If you don't lead the change leads you. And it will take things with it that you weren't ready to lose, because they feel guilty for changing. They know something shifted. They see her discomfort. They feel responsible. So they try to compensate. More affection when they have no energy for it. More availability when their focus requires the opposite. More emotional output from a tank that's already running low. And it's not sustainable. So they collapse back into resentment. Or they go the other direction, ignore the problem entirely, tell themselves it will sort itself out, and watch it quietly collapse. Neither approach works, because neither one involves leadership. And what this moment requires, more than anything else, is a man willing to lead the transition instead of reacting to the fallout of it. Go back to the beginning. Same success, same relationship, same distance forming. But now, different awareness. You see what's happening. Not as a crisis, as a transition, not as her pulling away, as a dynamic that requires conscious navigation. You don't shrink your growth to ease her discomfort. You don't abandon the mission to compensate for your absence. You lead. You communicate clearly. You show up fully when you show up. You hold your structure without apology. You align the relationship with the direction your life is moving. Two men facing the same moment. The man who grows and apologizes for it loses himself trying to hold everything together and loses the relationship anyway. The man who grows and leads the shift builds something more honest, more stable, more real than what existed before. Don't shrink, don't apologize, don't regress. Lead the change. Because success doesn't destroy relationships. Lack of leadership after success does.